Marsupilami marches onto the Mega Drive this week. It's a platform puzzle game where Marsu has to help his elephant pal Benelli escape from a circus and lead him back to the jungle. Marsu collects icons to power up his amazing tail, but his main problem is keeping Benelli travelling in the right direction. Here's Sarah.
When I first played this, I thought it was going to be easy because of the cute character and the cartoon-style graphics, but it's quite the opposite due to the puzzle element. The puzzles in this game are quite difficult. For example, here, I've got to get Benelli over the water tank. First, I choose the mouse icon to scare him to run into the tank, which drops the plank. Then, I've got to drop some fruit to keep him still. Then, change the tail icon into the stairs and get Benelli over the obstacle. Don't be fooled by the look of it. It's much harder than you think, even when it's played on easy.
It's colourful and fun, but the puzzle element is a little too difficult for the inexperienced player.
It takes a lot of practice to complete the levels, so it'll certainly keep you entertained for a while.
And the scores for Marsupilami, a prehensile 4 from both the boys and the girls.
This week sees the release of yet another SNES soccer game, International Superstar Soccer Deluxe. It's a new version of last year's International Superstar Soccer, with more bells and whistles and a church full of referees. Players now have the option to customise almost every aspect of the game: team strategies, the weather, even the goalkeeper's intelligence. And with the right adapter, up to 4 players can play at once. Here's Lee.
This is the best football game I've played, but it's very similar to the first one. There are 8 different stadiums, all different sizes. The pitches play differently too. This is Spain's, which is one of the fastest. The players turn better, but passing and shooting still lets the game down, as it is too difficult. You have to figure out the easiest way to score and stick to it. The players look different, each have their individual appearances, and the way the characters move is more realistic. There are some nice touches, such as the players' antics after the score. It's a very good football game, but if you've got the original, I'd think twice about buying it.
It's straightforward to play and enjoyable. It's one of the best football games I've played.
As far as football games go, this is pretty good, but it's still a little slow and too hard to score.
And the scores, a match-winning 4 from both the boys and the girls.
So, what's the weather like in Los Angeles? Really? Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Telephone, a wonderful invention, isn't it? You can talk to anybody who's got one anywhere in the world, and I'm on the phone to Los Angeles at the moment. Yeah, hang on, I'll be with you in a second. The phone was actually invented in America in 1876, followed closely by the invention of the telephone bill. The telephone bill is a really bad thing if you're like me and you make loads of international calls. Look, I'll just have to go. I won't be a second, hang on. So wouldn't it be a great idea if you could make international calls for the price of a local call? Well, now you can. And amazingly, it uses the world's most boring technology, the internet. This computer is connected via a local call to the internet, and you've always been able to type messages in and exchange messages by typing. But then it occurred to somebody, if you can send data around the internet that represents typing, why can't you send data around the internet that represents speech? Well, you can, and here's the idea in practice. It's called the internet phone. All you need is a microphone, some clever software and some speakers. Let's see who's online at the moment. You can only speak to anybody who's got the system. What about Weasel? Hello, this is Andy Crane. I'm calling from a television program in England. I'd like to speak to Weasel if he's there, please.
Yeah, speaking.
How are you, Weasel? Where am I calling you? Where do you live?
Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio. So what time is it in Ohio, Weasel?
It's 1:30. The weather's pretty it's about 40 degrees, wet and dreary.
And how often do you spend on the internet phone? Do you talk to lots of people from all over the world?
No. Actually, you're actually the first person that has actually called me.
Oh, well, what a rare privilege, and a pleasure to speak to you as well. Thanks for talking to us, Weasel. Ta-ra. Amazing. We've just called Ohio for the price of a local call.
You can use similar software to get any sort of sound over the internet, and at the moment we're listening to live radio from America. In fact, the radio station is KPIG, which is in Santa Cruz, and that's about 5,000 miles away. But you can even send TV pictures down the internet. Now what we're seeing now are live TV pictures from America. The pictures aren't brilliant, but that's because a normal phone line can't carry enough information for full quality TV.
But forget phones and video phones. This is the latest in internet technology. It's a way to meet people in cyberspace. But before you can do that, you've got to go through this kind of rogues gallery and pick your cyber identity, if you like. So who are you going to be, Donna?
Oh, I think that wicked woman there.
All right. So enter world chat. In we go, and it logs on. And Donna is now in a virtual room with all the other users who are online at the moment.
Right, we'll talk to Christy.
Let's try to talk to Christy. Computer is constantly sending and receiving information via the internet as to where all the other people are in the virtual room and where Donna is.
Let's see if she answers me then.
She will eventually, I think.
Donna, hi.
Oh,
We're
Pele
talking to
wants to talk to
Pele
you.
now. Right, I'll say hello to Pele.
Yeah, that's enough idle chat in the cyber lounge, if you like. But if you meet your best mates and you want to have a private conversation, you can slope off to one of these little side rooms using, again, the mouse or the arrow keys. Because on this system, you can only talk to the people you can see in the same room. So if you go into a private room, you can only have a conversation with the people that are in there. In fact, there's a whole virtual space station to explore here. What do you think of it?
Really good, the graphics and stuff are excellent.
One thing is for certain. The internet may very well mean the end of the telephone bill as we know it, and that can only be a good thing.
Andy, are you still there, Andy? And now, with our very own viewpoint, here's Virtual Violet.
Are you partial to the overhead viewpoint of micro machines? Or do you prefer into-the-screen races, like the classic F-Zero? There are advantages to viewing a track isometrically, like rock and roll racing. But then you might prefer the sideways scrolling of Unirally. More and more games are being set in a 3D environment, which allow you to play the same game from a variety of different angles. Driver's view, please! And it's not just races. In order to wrap your mind around the puzzles in 3D Lemmings, you're going to have to use some movable cameras and wrap your eyes around them too. Zoom in! That's it. Or in Virtual Pool, you can line up your shot from anywhere. But upside down or even under the table. Give me a break. Then there's Panzer Dragoon, which offers 2 viewpoints where you get a clear sight of your enemies, and a third where your dragon's wings flap in the way. Get off! In Toshinden, you're offered a bird's eye view of the action. There's a camera in the sky. But you'll need to be eagle-eyed. No normal view now. Now, it's great having a choice of cameras, but one thing has got to be said. Games designers should stop showing off and get a grip. It would be nice to actually spend more time playing the game and less time directing the cameras. And cut.
Well, if you're not completely gadgeted out, look at this. This kit will turn your PC into the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. Almost. Got a disc holder here, insignia mouse mat and mouse, keyboard, and this monitor surround. But underneath is our competition prize for this week. We are giving away this all singing, all dancing compact PC with the correct keyboard and a signed copy of Wing Commander 4 starring Mark Hamill and Malcolm McDowell. And the question is, what is the nearest star to the Earth? Is it A, Alpha Centauri, B, the Sun, or C, Cerberus? Phone us your answer on 0891 800 300. The call will cost you no more than 25p. Lines will stay up until midnight on Sunday, but do please get permission from whoever pays the phone bill before you dial.
Now, last week's competition prize was a PlayStation with a copy of Tekken, and we asked, what sort of light does a laser give out? The answer is coherent. Now, we had nearly 20,000 entries, but the winner is John Pickering from Liverpool. 10 runners up get Bad Influence Bad Fruit t-shirts, and their names are running across the screen right now. And this week we're looking at all the latest football games, including the stunning Striker 96, and we leave you with a clip.
Beam us up, Scotty.
That would have hurt. Well, that wasn't the best tackle I've ever seen.